6 teams, 4 games, 1 road to the finals. The regular season marks the first step of their treacherous journey. Every kick, lap, headshot, and goal will bring them one step closer to being the world champions. But first, they've got to compete with North America's finest. There will be winners, there will be losers, and there will be only one champion. This is Season 2 of the Championship Gaming Series.
Y'all ready for this?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening night of the 2008 North America regular season. I am DJ Wheat with the Championship Gaming Series online, and I could not be happier to be in this seat tonight to get front row tickets to all 6 teams. All 6 franchises will be competing here tonight, including a rematch of the North American and World Finals. We're going to be kicking off with the Chicago Chimera and the Carolina Core. I've got 2 people helping me out with tonight's broadcast. Sitting to my left, I've got player and all-around fantastic guy, Swoozy.
How's it going, my man?
I'm so happy to have you here by my side.
Glad to be here, bro. This is it. I mean, these guys are living the dream.
They are living the dream.
It's
and
amazing.
Tonight is the night. You know,
Online.
Training camp, it's
done.
It's done. This is the real
Gloves
deal.
come off.
The gloves come off, Swoozy, and every single point counts.
It
and that's
does.
going to be so important. But before we kick things off officially, let me also introduce a new person on our team, our sideline reporter, Cammie.
Thank you, Wheat. I'm just excited to be here, and everybody else seems to be pretty pumped, too, and I just love being on the floor, and I can't wait, honestly. You can tell my nerves are just shot.
All right, well, I'm excited too. Swoozy, Cammie, we're all very excited, and many people have been wondering just how exactly did this all come to be? How exactly did the 2007 season play out?
Let's show 'em.
How did the combine, how did the draft play off?
This is
You're
roll it.
right, Swoozy.
Roll it. Let's show these
roll it.
people.
This is the road to the 2008.
In the 2007 CGS season, 6 formidable North American teams battled through the regular season, playoffs, and ultimately crowned one winner from an amazing pool of talent. In a historical North American final, the Chicago Chimera defeated the Carolina Core by 1 point to become the first ever CGS North American champion. In the World Finals, these 2 teams met again, and the Chicago Chimera proved their North American win was not a fluke and became the #1 CGS team in the world. As the global season came to a close, the next challenge for CGS players had just begun. The players escaped to their training grounds to prepare themselves for the 2008 North American Draft at South by Southwest in March of 2008. After a tough combine which let existing and new players demonstrate their skills to the 6 North American general managers, a live draft was held to build the 6 North American teams for the 2008 season. Some players were franchised, some players were protected, and the rest were at the mercy of the general manager's picks to ensure them a spot in the 2008 North American season. The end result was 6 new North American teams with new faces and old faces. And now these teams will be put to the test. Who will triumph? Who will crumble? And who will be left as the last team standing in the 2008 North American season?
Swoozy, you have been there as a player before. You've gone through this from the combine to the draft to the regular season.
Yes, sir.
What significance is tonight for a player?
I mean, it's going to be huge. I mean, it's going to set the tone for a lot of people. For other teams, it's going to be like, we're going to go home tonight. Like, okay, we won. We're going to go home tonight. We lost. And you have to sleep on that. So, I mean, it's not always good to come out the gate with a W or with an L. So you definitely want to make sure today you are not one of the teams because 3 people are going to lose.
Yeah,
3 teams
it's going to certainly separate the teams a little bit.
So you definitely want to make sure you leave this building today with the W because, I mean, it's not the biggest ego booster to leave here with an L out the gate.
Well, let's let's introduce and show everyone how exactly you win here with the W. The scoring system for the Championship Gaming Series is very simple, but in case you're new to the CGS or maybe you've just forgotten how the scoring works, here it is, a breakdown on franchise scoring.
Here's how the CGS scoring system works. Every point in every game is added to the team's overall score, making each point in every game incredibly important. In FIFA 08, each goal is 1 point for a player's team. Any shootout goal also counts as 1 point each. In Forza Motorsports 2, first place wins 4 points for the team, second place wins 2 points, and third place wins 1. In Dead or Alive 4, win a round, get a point. First player to win 5 rounds wins the match, but the loser still earns a point for each round he or she wins. And in Counter-Strike Source, the winner of each round gets 1 point. The first team to win 10 rounds wins the match, but there are important points at stake as the remaining rounds are played out. The key is that every point in every game contributes to the team's match total.
So the scoring system is pretty straightforward. There's 5 games played, and each of those games represents a different amount of points, all going toward your overall team score. The team with the most points at the end is declared the winner. It's pretty simple, and you know what? I think we've gotten everything out of the way now, Susie. I think it's now time to officially introduce our first matchup for the kickoff of the 2008 North American regular season. We have got 2 returning champions, and these guys have met many times before, the Chicago Chimera and the Carolina Core. And Swoozy, you've been there for all of those matches, everything from the North American Championship to the World Final Championship.
This is what it's all about.
And you experienced it all.
It starts tonight. I mean, the combine, the practicing at home, the online matches, the training matches, all this. CGS Online now, it's official. Tonight it goes on your record. Every bullet counts. Every goal counts. Every turn counts. Every punch, every kick, every grab. It all counts.
All right. Well, and many big rivalries were created during that. Of course, we've got the Chicago Chimera racing team. We've got some players that used to play for the Chicago Chimera that are now playing for the Carolina Core. And here's just a little roll of what happened with these 2 teams. Of course, it was a big night being there at the North American Finals, the first ever North American Finals, and it was a glorious battle.
Chicago came to play, man.
They did. They did.
They shut down. I mean, Carolina. I mean, you had Offbeat that only scored 1. You had Mystic only scoring 1. You have FIFA only scoring 1. You have like, all these 1 points getting up on the board, and here you have Chicago just rolling through, and then, you know, it's just a 27-15 final. They really secured that W. And
I think a lot of fans are just sort of coming into this with the expectation that you know Chicago better bring it. They were world champions twice. It only seems right that they would walk away from this match. Of course, Core's not going to let that happen.
Right.
And that's what all the preparation up to this point has actually been. And you know what? I'm done talking. Let's introduce these teams.
Let's make it happen.
First up, we've got the second place finisher last year at the World Finals. It is the the Carolina Core. Yeah, forgive me. There they are right there. Now, Swoozy didn't come out of the training camp with the best record, but as we've talked about, maybe you've been on thecgs.com, you've been participating in the forums and the blogs, and that's not really bothering anyone right now because this is the real deal. Of course, they've got #1 DOA male from last season, Offbeat Ninja. He just won a tournament last week in DID in Dallas, and they were second to Chicago twice in the finals. This is redemption right here
around.
For these
guys are all solid. I mean, each one of these players on this squad, they're all solid players. I mean, they've proven themselves already. So if they come out and they came to play today and they show it, then I don't think they'll have a problem.
And tonight, it's time for them to function as a team because they are going up against the returning world champions, the Chicago Chimera. Let's meet them now. And there you see the team with GM Brian Flander. Of course, again, not a spectacular training camp record coming out of there. But they were last season's North American and World Championships. They have a strong DOA team. And, of course, the #1 racing team from last year.
I want to see these guys in action. I want to see this. Is the first time we get to see them, you know, this is it, like officially on a new game.
Yeah, and of course, with the strong DOA team comes big expectations from Kasumi-chan from the Chicago Chimera. A lot of fans not really happy with her performance over the training camp, ready for her to bring it.
Right. So, I mean, we're going to see. I mean, KC, she, in my opinion, me and Dr. Dog were talking last night, and KC is #2 in our book. So if she can just play her game, she knows the game inside and out. So, I mean, she's been playing longer than all of the females here in the CGS. So if she can, if she can put it in, then I think she'll get the points
Well,
today.
unfortunately, Susie, you're going to have to wait for that Dead or Alive female match because first up is going to be Forza. And Forza 2 to kick us off. I'm just going to say right off the bat, Susie, this is probably one of the matches that I am overly excited for.
I want to see it.
Because it is Chomper and Jason X returning as the champions. But let's introduce both teams right now. For the Carolina Core, let's introduce them first. We've got a veteran and a new racer. So this should be an interesting duo and dynamic that we're going to be seeing here today.
Yeah.
Of course, our veteran is going to be Phantom Hitman. He goes all the way back to the original CGIs.
I mean, all the way.
There they are right there. Phantom Hitman on the left and his racing
New Blood.
friend, New Blood, exactly. General E Live. And so Phantom Hitman has been playing a lot of support over the training camp.
Correct.
General E Live was a core first-round pick and definitely one of the racers that I think Forza people are worried about.
I want to see some of these strats in Forza.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was coming up with new strats during the PGR phase, and now we've got Forza. I know these guys have been working on some stuff behind closed doors. I want to see them now. I mean, we've got guys that aren't concerned about winning. Just take the other two guys out.
And that's exactly going to be the topic of discussion for our next team, the Chicago Chimera, with returning champions Jason X and Chomper. There you see them right there. Chomper is on the left, Jason X on the right. The unstoppable force in Chicago in the 2007. I believe they only dropped one match the entire season, 11-1. Now, they have had some difficulty switching to Forza, and that's why I'm overly excited for this match.
Oh, yeah, I want to see it because I'm saying, I mean, these guys were just unstoppable. Like, when you saw these guys, I mean, it's like, do we even practice if we play Jason and Chomper? I mean, tomorrow. So, I mean, it's like I want to see if these guys really have what it takes to switch over to Forza.
They definitely look like they're in the zone. They definitely look like they're ready to race.
Play, so.
But before we get this race started, let's check out how Forza 2 is played in the Championship Gaming Series.
Forza Motorsports 2 is a high-octane racing game where drivers jockey for position at blistering speeds through a variety of courses from around the globe. In the CGS, every match is a 4-car race between 2 drivers from each team. Players must rely heavily on their driving skills while avoiding or performing potential collisions with the other racers. Team strategy is key. The drivers win 4 points for first place, 2 points for second, and 1 point for third.
As the players are preparing for this matchup, let's talk a little bit about the track that they're going to be on. Today it's going to be Road Atlanta Short, and this is a pretty
It's a real track, I've heard.
It's a real track. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
You can drive to Georgia. I think you probably have to have a proper car, but you can get on this track and you can race it. Now, as far as the Forza tracks that are available in CGS this season, I would say that this is probably the most straightforward, Swoozie.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of killer turns, but what will happen is there are 1 or 2 that you're going to see that the players are going to have to slow down on.
These are the kind of things I want to see. I want to see an intimate game. I don't want to see 2 guys just dart out in front and then 2 guys stay behind the whole rest.
Exactly.
I want to see an intimate game. I want to see some collisions. I want to see some crashes. I want to see some nail biters. So I like stages like this.
And it's going to come down to that. There's only, like I said, a few turns that are going to be really crucial to the actual race. So it's going to come down a lot to the initial strategy when we open up and how these players actually take those turns once it comes time.
Correct.
So with that being said, I think we're about ready to get this match started and the
Kickoff?
first official action of the 2008 North America regular season. Let's get this thing started.
Make it happen.
Let's do this. You could see the racers getting ready for their race, and we will have the official kickoff. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. We've got Carolina Core versus the Chicago Chimera. Chicago, obviously, the returning team. And again, the big story here, Swoozie, is that people want to know how Chomper and Jason X are going to do.
They've seen the blogs. They've seen the articles. They've seen Chomper and Jason X saying, okay, we did love PGR, and now we have to switch over to this game. I have a lot of, issues with it. Jason was saying, Chomper was saying he had these issues, but I did talk to Chomper a little bit at the wrap party for the season 1, and he was saying whatever game he plays, he zones out. It's just him and that monitor, and that's it.
Is it same for like a fighting game as well? Like, do you feel like there's a fundamental driving skill that one has to play any game, and if you have those skills, and you're going to be able to turn those over well into other games?
It varies. I mean, it just depends. Like Fatality, you have him in all these first-person shooters. He can win tournaments in multiple first-person shooters games, and he has his formula, and he just applies it to these games. I don't know if these guys will be able to apply it to Forza. I'm hoping so. I want to see some really good races here.
All right. Well, apparently a car had to stop in the pit stop or something prior to getting started, so we're going to get the action going. I'm ready to go. It sounds like the racers are ready too, so
rev them up.
Let's get it. Let's start your engines. And there we go, the official start. Starting a little bit different, just like how it works in CGS is that they have to put the controllers down, and then of course they pick them up to start. We're gonna see a collision right off the bat, and that looked like Chicago Chimera got knocked off the course, and we're gonna move over to Core, and General E Live coming in fresh onto the Carolina Core. Looks like he's gonna take that first place position right now. He is in first place. He's on the first lap here of Road Atlanta Short, and he looks like he's gonna set himself up now. Swoozy, this turn up here is one of the turns that I was talking about.
Okay.
You got to be a little careful about that one, and then as we come around the corner, you might need to slow it down to come around to the other side of the track right here. So I believe this is actually turn number 7. There you're going to see him come down the hill here and go through the grass right there. Typically, if a racer were to slow down a little bit, they could get hit from the back. But it looks like General E Live has a very, very good lead right now.
Really
and what a great start for Core if they manage to pull off a first place win
out the gate
in Forza 2 right out of the gate. So we're switching on over to second place. You can see Phantom, so it's good that Carolina basically has a first and second setup. That initial collision right off of the starting line, that could have been, it looked like Phantom almost was about ready to lose control there, but it looked like it just went right through the grass. So Phantom and General E Live having no problem right now, and we're going to switch on over. There's General E Live in first place, and hopefully we'll get a lock on one of the Chicago racers. It seemed like that initial, there we have a Chomper in third place, so that was Jason X who got wiped out in the front. Now, I'm not sure, Swoozy, but I'd have to say that Chomper, he's making some time up, but he's still got quite a bit to go if he really wants to catch up to one of these Core racers. I don't want to call it early here, Swoozy, but this could be the first loss.
I wouldn't count him out yet, man. I've seen this guy at another tournament in Orlando last summer, and he was not looking like he was in good shape, but he played his game. He was cool, he was calm, he's collected, and he took the whole thing with no problem, just playing his game. So, I mean, he is one of the guys that doesn't let these situations like this affect him.
Well, there's two different scenarios that you got to deal with in Forza 2. One is just being able to drive.
Right.
For example, Generally Live right now, he's in first place. He's relying on his sheer driving skills by just to keep first place.
Correct.
The other, of course, is trying to knock out your opponent and giving your racer some additional advantage here. But it looks like Generally Live is just going to take this. Oh, I think I heard a collision there. Chomper may have gone for a collision there against Phantom, and he did get it. It looked like Phantom is there right in front of him, so some time brought up, but again, is Chomper really going to be able to bring it back? We're nearing the finish line right here, and I think, and there it is. Yep, it is going to be General E Live in first place.
Out the gate.
Phantom in second, I believe Chomper in third, and Jason X in last. So not exactly the way that Chicago wanted to start out that season. Swoozy, are you a little surprised?
Yes and no. I mean, that's the position that you want to be in when you have both your team on first and second, to where if anything starts to happen, if you've got Phantom right behind you, I can take care of traffic pretty much.
Right, and of course relying on Generally Live. Hey, you've got the lead.
Just go.
Hold on to it.
You worry
Keep
about
it
racing.
Going. Exactly. So it looks like they're going to come out with a 6-1. We'll be seeing the big scoreboard in just a second. But first, let's shoot it on down to Cammie, our sideline reporter for the Championship Gaming Series Online. She is down with our winners, Phantom and Generally Live. Cammie.
Thank you very much, DJ Wheat. I'm standing here with the winners today at Carolina Core. Congratulations. Looks like you guys had it pretty much dominated that whole time. And seeing that it was Chimera coming up to the plate, were you guys worried at all with Jason and Chomper?
I have to say, yeah, Jason and Chomper are the top racers in the world, so you have to give those guys respect. So we were definitely preparing for those two.
Yeah, we had a little surprise for them, as they could see. We were kind of confident about that. We've been working on it for about 5 weeks now. Brought out the TVR on a Celine track and got it done. It's a beast.
Well, it looks like all that hard work really paid off for you guys, and you heard it. They didn't sweat it at all. Back to you, Wheat.
Thank you, Cammie. They didn't sweat it, and that's a tough thing to do against the #1 team from last year.
That's his first real game right there, and he comes out with first.
Yeah, and it did very well during the training camp. Again, I would throw out there that I think the track definitely played in Core's favor, because I think once they got that lead, and they must have been working on it. You know, Phantom said, and both Generally Live said, we've been working on this strategy a little bit. Probably knowing that they were going to come into a simpler track, it may have helped them out to know we need to get our lead early on in the game and go with it. So let's take a look at the big scoreboard now that we have a win up on the board. Phantom and General E Live win, and that means that we're going to have a 1 for the Chicago Chimera and 6 for the Carolina Core. And typically, if this was a last season matchup, you'd expect to see those scores reversed.
Yeah, easily.
But we've still got 4 more games to go, and you were talking about one of the games coming up.
What's this next game
Well, the next game is actually Dead or Alive 4. I heard you know something about that.
I've played it once or twice.
Yeah, you have. So we're moving on to Dead or Alive 4, guys. Congratulations to the Carolina Core. They do pick up first and second place victory in Forza 2.
It's a very good start.
And that means we're going to be setting up for Dead or Alive Female, and we've got another great matchup, Kasumi-chan and Mystic.
I want to see this.
Any initial thoughts before we intro these players?
It's going to be hard to call, because I mean, KC, like I said, she is solid, but she does have her moments where she can be stubborn. I mean, there's extra damage she can get, but she will bypass it because she's comfortable doing this combo. So, I mean, but Mystic, after watching her at World Finals and seeing her performance in Season 1, she adapts. She has improvisation.
Absolutely.
So I want to see this one. I can't predict this
All
one.
right, let's introduce the players. First up for the Carolina Core, it is Mystic. Mystic returning, one of the most improved females since 2007.
Definitely.
I think that we're all in agreement over that. She'll be using Hayate today. And, of course, this is going to be a big match for her because it gives her a chance to sort of say, hey, I'm back from the World Finals, and this is what I've got for you. So very excited. She's going up against a tough competitor. Didn't do so hot in the training camp, but definitely is going to be here to show it tonight for the Chicago Chimera. We've got Kasumi-chan.
Yes,
and you can,
sir.
She's in zone mode
Now,
right now.
I saw her playing with Genfu a few minutes ago in the warm-up, so I don't know if she plans on going with Genfu versus Kasumi. I've never seen her play with Genfu.
Really?
So it would
be exciting for you.
This
well,
is going to be a treat.
We would obviously, Kasumi would be the expected character of choice, but we're going to find out in just a second. But first, let's check out how Dead or Alive 4 is played in the Championship Gaming Series.
Dead or Alive 4 is an intense one-on-one mixed martial arts showdown in which competitors try to knock out their opponents using kicks, punches, special moves, and counterattacks. Fighters also need to avoid the built-in dangers of arenas where they battle, including passing cars, angry cheetahs, and exploding floors. If neither fighter has been knocked out by the end of the 1-minute round, the fighter with the most health left wins. The first warrior to win 5 rounds wins the match, but every winning round counts as 1 point towards the team's match total.